Welcome back to DXB Today. We're talking all things public speaking and communication. Clearly, I need a little bit of work myself. Well, our next guest can probably help us. Our next guest is an expert empowering individuals to maximize their leadership potential through the development of communication intelligence. Please welcome to DXB Today, Su Bridman JD from Speak Fluence. Hey, Sue.
Thank you. Hi, thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Good to see you.
Sue, I've heard about, our IQ, we have heard about EQ or emotional intelligence, but you talk about, and in your book as well, communication intelligence. So let's start off by learning about communication intelligence.
Absolutely. So communication intelligence has 4 components. You have your CQ actually has your content, your vocalization, and your nonverbal communication, but the X factor is what we were talking about a bit earlier, eliminating any physiology of anxiety or nervousness. And once you can achieve all these 4 elements through very methodical strategies, you can then enter what's called a state of communication flow, which is your superpower for success.
Nice. So there's a lot of biology involved in this as well.
Right.
So Sana just gave us a little nice breathing exercise to do and a technique. So what would you say is some of the things that we need to do more when it comes to knowing our biology and when it comes to speaking and expressing ourselves?
So actually, a lot of people tend to focus on what they want to say, and as opposed to thinking about how will it affect their audience. So if you can master language structures, vocabulary, nonverbal communication to elicit trust of your audience, that is truly empowering. And as well, if you can biohack to reduce that physiology of anxiety and nervousness, and there are a number of strategies that are referenced in the book which help you develop a pre-presentation routine, including some of the breath techniques that were mentioned, but there are a number of other strategies which you can track, and you can track your progress to see how you can, in effect, decrease your cognitive load. So you think of fewer things and you can actually access all that brilliance that you've developed in your mind and want to share with your audience.
Woo! And do you see Sue, by the way, looking around making eye contact with every single one of us as she's speaking? Well, this one's a pro.
So Sue, I hear a lot of feedback of individuals saying, I'm not a public speaker, so I don't need to become a better public speaker. Do you have any tips or ideas? Do you believe that to be the case?
Fantastic question. So honestly, a lot of people, and I've worked with thousands of people from various cultures across the globe, and what's happened is individuals are often born or culturally nurtured to have perhaps a more or less desire to speak. And it's important for individuals to know that that's just, you can turn it on and turn it off, and you can actually groom yourself through a methodical, strategy-based process to become a speaker. And I like to say, if you think of it as a mind-body-voice formula, as a triangular formula, where if you master your mind, you master your body, you can then have your voice flow. And it's empowering, and it really enables us to share all that beauty that's within our mind, and there's nothing greater than being heard. And so to be able to know that you will be not only heard, but remembered. A lot of what we're talking today is not just about speaking, but about impact speaking. So how can you actually be remembered by your audience? That's key.
Being memorable.
That was actually going to be my next question to you, because anybody can memorize a script or read from a teleprompter. That's absolutely easy. But then the point is to influence and create that impact using your voice, be memorable. How do you command an audience, and how do you make sure that everyone is still interested and invested in what you're saying? Because people can zone out. I mean, we have very low attention span these days. I can definitely vouch for it myself. So how do you keep your audience captivated or arrested?
There are a number of strategies. Number one, it's important to know there's a lot of research on attention, on audience attention, and actually I look at that in the book. And it's declining significantly over the years. And so it's important, number one, to know that your opening and ending of any speech is key. You want to ensure that your main points are reinforced. You have about 7 to 10 seconds to engage your audience, and you want to make sure you're remembered at the end as well. In addition, if you can have a fairly well planned out structure and re-cue the audience attention through change of tone, change of body position, and change of language structures, that's very effective.
I have another question for you, and I'm sure every one of us can relate to this. There have been times, no matter how prepared one is, sometimes you can have a little bit of a brain freeze where you forget what you're about to say, you lose your train of thought. How do you recover from that without making it obvious to the public?
I think it's very important for individuals to realize no one knows your speech but you, or your presentation, or your message. And I think people get really obsessed over remembering specific words. Just understand what it is you want to share. And there are a number of strategies that actually go through them in terms of how you can remember long speeches using different visual techniques and different mind mapping techniques. And again, if you become adept at these different strategies, you'll find that long speeches don't seem as long as they are, perhaps, and you're able to then cue and re-cue throughout through emphasis notes or a variety of other techniques, and that enables you to retain that audience attention.
Brilliant, Sue. I'm just agreeing with everything you're saying. Lovely. So much of public speaking training is really, I would say, it's about meeting your insecurities in many ways. It's so much about your psychology in so many ways. It's not just the techniques. And I know you have a background in psychology. Do you want to elaborate on that?
So a lot of the strategies that are implemented in the book are positive psychology based. And so if you look at the work of Professor Marty Seligman, Angela Duckworth, who wrote the book Grit, there's also Professor Mihaly, who has researched about the state of flow. If we can, when I mentioned the triangular process of mind, body, voice, if we can shift our mind to number one, remove any labels. I don't even want to mention the labels because we all know what they are. Yes. But if we can remove those labels and realize that whatever our personal state is in a moment, if we can alter that state, have confidence that we have prepared in advance, and I don't mean general practice, I mean methodical, get geeky about your practice, where you have communication as a part of your ethos, your personal ethos, your organizational ethos. If you can do that on a regular basis, you will be able to prepare regardless of the scenario and shift your mindset in the moment. I say it's a bit like Netflix, you switch it on and off when you want. I say the CQ switch is something you can switch on and off on demand. And it doesn't change your personality, it doesn't change your essence. The key is to be an authentic speaker and be prepared in advance, so when it counts in the moment, you shine.
Wonderful. Sue, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for all of your tips, advice, and I want that book.
I know. We'll all get a book.
Yeah, we'll get,
You get a book.
With delay.
and I want it signed as well.
Of
Thank
course.
You. Yeah,
My
cheers.
pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Now, today's spotlight is on a professional speaker and coach helping you to achieve powerful communication and public speaking skills through personalized executive and corporate training. This is Lisa Hugo.
My name is Lisa Hugo, and I work with senior level executives and entrepreneurs who have the desire to go out and be seen, speak from stages, but something is holding them back. I help them to harness the power of their voice so they can be seen as an authority and an expert in their industry. So generally the people who I'm working with, they really have the desire to be out there and speaking from stage and developing their own personal brand, but something's holding them back. It could be their confidence, it could be their inability to be able to really engage an audience, or it could be they get to the point where they shy away from taking these opportunities, so they're holding themselves back in every way. I've worked with thousands of people through my programs to really embrace their confident speaking skills and go out and be more seen as an authority. To help as many people as I can to really go out there, be seen and be visible by giving them the skill set that they'll need. Dubai is a great place to set up a company. There are loads of opportunities here, and we are supported very much by the government in getting our licenses, and we're a great central point as well to go and branch out to the rest of the world. I think if anybody is struggling with using their voice, speaking out, they have the desire and they want to be visible, then it's really a skill that you can work on, and go find somebody who can help you. Get in touch.
Time for a quick break. When we come back, we speak to the director of Harvard Debate Council. Plus, we've got music in studio, so please stay with us.